this.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
This portion is brought to you by Fanatics. Who is your favorite player, team, or league? You can support them with Fanatics, the ultimate place for gear and apparel. Log on to snowmanmultimedia.com/fanatics and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. Visit snowmanmultimedia.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything. Calling all small businesses. Want to get your name, products, and services out to a local and national audience? Then choose the 360-degree advertising option of Snowman Multimedia. This is the network where every fan has a voice and every team has a fan, and we want you to be a part of it. Call 317-762-8567 or drop an email to info@snowmanmultimedia.com. All right. This is the bracket y'all have been waiting for. It's time for the men's bracket. Let's do this thing. We'll start in the East and go all the way through and pick our winner in each region. Starting with UConn facing 16th seeded Stetson, going with UConn. 8 versus 9. Florida Atlantic, the Owls, Final Four participant last year, will face my beloved Northwestern Wildcats, and I got to go with the Cats. San Diego and UAB, got to go with San Diego State, another Final Four participant last year. They get the winner of Auburn and Yale, and it will be Auburn that will pull the trigger. BYU and Duquesne, as my wife pronounced them, we were on a date one night. I'll take BYU over Duquesne. And ILLINI, they will face Morehead State, and they will beat Morehead State. Washington State, number 7 versus number 10 Drake. Here's my first upset. Drake will get the better of Washington State, and South Dakota State and Iowa State, 15 versus 2. You get second-seeded Iowa State for the Drake Bulldogs. Well, UConn and Northwestern, the defending national champions, will move on and end the Cinderella season for Northwestern. As much as I hate to say it, got to call it right down the middle. They'll get San Diego State in a championship rematch. Illinois will be next to move on. They will play Iowa State. Next in line is UConn and San Diego State going with the champs, and they will face the Big Ten champs in the Fighting Illini. Now, I'm going to make a stupid pick. I'm warning y'all ahead of time. I'm going to make a stupid pick. I should know better than to do this, picking with my heart instead of with my brain. My brain says UConn, but I'm going with my heart, and I say Illinois gets back to the Final Four for the first time since 2005. That takes care of the East region. We go to the West, where top-seeded North Carolina will win their first-round game. They'll face the winner of Michigan State and Mississippi State. Got to go with the Dogs. St. Mary's against Grand Canyon, the Antelopes. Go with St. Mary's. Alabama and Charleston, go with Alabama. Clemson will get, that's New Mexico. Clemson will get New Mexico. I'm going with New Mexico. Heck with it. I'm going with New Mexico. Baylor versus the Ivy League champs in Colgate. We're going to go with Baylor. Dayton and Nevada. And we're going with Dayton. They will face second-seeded Arizona. North Carolina, Mississippi State. I'm going to call for an upset. Mississippi State will take down top-seeded North Carolina, and they will play Alabama in an SEC regional semifinal. Baylor is next, and they will get second-seeded Arizona. Mississippi State will score another upset. They will face second-seeded Arizona, and it will be the Arizona Wildcats that will go to Glendale, not that far away, and play in the Final Four. To the Midwest bracket we go. Purdue faces a play-in winner, going with Zach Edey and Purdue. They will get the Frogs of TCU, and I'm just flying through these. Gonzaga is next. They will advance, and they will play Kansas. South Carolina and Oregon. I'll go with South Carolina. They get the winner of Creighton and Akron. Got to go with the sharpshooting Blue Jays. 7-seeded Texas will get a play-in winner. They will win, and they get number 2 Tennessee. Second-seeded Tennessee. Purdue and TCU I have in this bracket, and you know what? The heck with it. I'm going with TCU. I don't trust Purdue if they get this far. Gonzaga and Kansas got to go with the Bulldogs. South Carolina and Creighton going with the Gamecocks, and they will face Texas in the regional semifinal in the Midwest. TCU and Gonzaga going with the Dogs, and they will face the Horns. And I got the Horns going to the Final Four in Arizona. Back upstairs, we go to the South Division, and top seeded Houston will get Longwood, and they will face the winner of Nebraska and Texas A&M. And I'm going with Nebraska. That's the matchup analysis. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. Wisconsin will take on James Madison. Why am I stuck? Why am I feeling an upset here? I'm doing this off of feel, folks. I'm doing this strictly off of feel. But I'm going to go with Wisconsin, and they will take on Duke in the next round, in the round of 32. North Carolina State will get Texas Tech. I'm rolling with the Wolfpack. The ghost of Jim Valvano lives, and they will take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Florida will get a play-in winner, going with Florida, and they will face second-seeded Marquette. To the round of 32 in the Midwest, going with top-seeded Houston, and they will play Wisconsin. I got Wisconsin taking down Duke. The ghost of Jim Valvano lives. They'll take down Kentucky, and they will face the Marquette Warriors. And I know they're called something different, but I'm actually sweating here doing these picks. Houston and Wisconsin in the regional semifinal in the South. Going to stick with Houston, and they will take on the ghost of Jim Valvano and North Carolina State. And I don't know why I'm going to do this after what I saw in the ACC, 5 wins in 5 days. This is where we prove Houston are frauds, and it's North Carolina State that will take down Houston. My Final Four is set. Illinois and Arizona. They've met once before in 2001 with Illinois getting the win. Illinois will do it for a second time. They will take down the Arizona Wildcats. And I just texted a friend of mine, Connor Klingon, had him on the show before. I picked Arizona at the start of the season, but for some reason, I'm feeling Illinois right now. I'll probably change these as we go along. North Carolina State and Texas. This is where the dream of Jim Valvano ends. I'm going with Texas. And the craziest thing is going to happen. It'll be Illinois that I believe will win the national championship in Glendale, Arizona. Now, these are predictions that are sure to go wrong because it's March Madness. Yeah. And my picks have been submitted.